Okay, it's time to replace the bad capacitors, and one here, so about five of them. My way will probably not be the best way, the fastest way, the only way, but like I always say, this is how I do it. It works for me. If you think it's okay, you can do it like this. If not, find another way of doing it. So first you have to see the bad capacitors. 99% of the times they are the bulging ones, so you can see their tops are really blown, really rounded. So I will just replace those. Very rarely you see normal looking capacitors that have gone bad, very rarely. So usually it's okay to replace just these bulging ones on a motherboard and everything will be fine. So you have to find the pins for the capacitors that you want to replace, but I only find exactly the one that I'm replacing at that point, and I will not unsolder all of them. I will unsolder just one and put the new one back in, so I don't mess anything up or don't get confused of what type of capacitor goes there. So soldering iron, not great. You probably are better with a soldering station, but this outputs more heat, so it's easier to unsolder them. Like I said, if you don't think this is okay, don't use this method, but this is what I've always used and I've never damaged the board. Of course, be careful not to damage the contacts next to this. This is why I'm putting lots of solder, because I want to make very good contact with the old one, outputting lots of smoke. So now I will just pull on this capacitor from the back. I will pull it like this to one side to get this little leg out, and then I will pull it to the other side to get this leg out. I'm not taking both of them at the same time because that's almost impossible. You kind of feel when the solder has melted. Okay, that capacitor, that little leg came out. Then the second one. Maybe you heard it there, starting to come off. It's a little bit stuck. Lots of the times motherboard capacitors come out pretty hard because their little feet are almost the exact same dimension as the holes in the motherboard, so they are pretty snug fit. In other electronics they come out way easier, but yeah. So let me just take this for a second out of the way and show you. This is a new capacitor. Let's just check the value. I will short circuit it to discharge it. I don't want to blow my capacimeter. Okay, so the minus goes here, the positive, and let us just check it. So you can see this should have 2200 microfarads, and it only has about 1000 microfarads. can even put on this one so you can see a little bit better how much. So it's less than half of the value it should have. On the voltage side of things, this is a 6.3 volts capacitor. I'm not really sure if it can be seen on video. The new one, it's 16 volts. You can go higher on the volts than the original one, but the higher you go, usually the bigger the capacitor is, so you should stay pretty close to the original one, so you don't have bigger capacitors. Sometimes you don't have enough room on the motherboard for them. So this is 16 volts, this is what I found, 2200 microfarads. And let us give it a quick test. So you can see we are about 2150 microfarads. Yeah, somebody is singing on the street. I have no idea if you can hear that. So this is a good capacitor, not a quality brand, because I don't have a good source for quality brand capacitors in my area, but should last a good few years like the original ones without any issues. Yeah, if I could actually take this out, that would be great. Let me just check. This should be, yes, it's 105 degrees cap, so that is good. Don't use lower temperature ones, because you know, PC motherboards have components that get pretty hot on them. So you also have to, probably I should have told you this before I took out the capacitors, you have to see the polarity of the capacitor, how you put in the new one. And on this motherboard, weirdly enough, you can see the positive is marked. Usually the negative is marked on the capacitor and on the motherboard, but in this case they decided to mark the positive lead, so yeah, what can you do? Now I will just trim the legs of the capacitor at about the same length as the original ones. Yeah, I'm gonna use something not really great for this purpose, but it does the job. Okay, so the new one is ready to go in, the old one we can throw away. Be very careful when doing this sort of work, because at one point I had to replace capacitors in a monitor, if I remember correctly, and that monitor had a weird fault in it. I think maybe you can see this on the motherboard. The solder has come out through the holes, so I will most likely need to draw it into something so I can insert the new capacitor. This happens sometimes, other times it doesn't go out and you have at least a point where to put the capacitor, and while you hit it you can slowly push it in, but this time the solder is out, so I cannot do that, so I have to draw it. One moment as I stop the video. Okay, back. I will take the solder away with this. I don't know what I almost tell you and what not. I was working on replacing the capacitors in a monitor, and weirdly enough something was wrong. Clean this before you do it, because all the solder from it will go into your desoldering wire, and you don't want that. Something, yeah, I almost bored myself because I keep the finger in the wrong place. Something was wrong with that monitor, and actually they were small caps like this, maybe 20 volts, 25 volts, maximum of 35 volts, but I'm 90% sure it was less than that. But those caps were extremely charged. So Here I almost electrocuted myself doing that, because clearly somewhere something was wrong with that monitor, and I don't really know how it was possible, but it was putting way more voltage into those caps than it should. So even if you change a low value cap, don't count on it not having a higher voltage than it should. In motherboards it's yeah pretty safe thing, because there is nowhere to get a higher voltage from, but in other electronics, yeah, sometimes you could have problems. Again guys, this isn't the best way to do this. This is just how I do it, and it has worked for me without any issues for years. Now you just have to make sure the distance between the tiny legs is the same distance as the one between the holes and in the motherboard, because if it's not the same, you will not be able to push the capacitor in. And now just put the tiny feet in the correct position and try to maintain that position while you turn around the motherboard, and start hitting it from the other side. There is a little chance that actually no, it got soldered. So we are at the same situation as before. Actually only on this one I will put more solder. We have where is the solder going? We have really tight holes on this motherboard, so it's almost impossible to push the new capacitor through. It would be pretty bad if it's truly impossible and the new capacitors have thicker legs. And this seems to be the situation at this point. Well. Let me try with the other tiny leg and see if we have more luck in there. Let me just take some solder onto my iron. Yeah, this is gonna take a lot of time and be pretty hard to do. Yeah guys, those tiny little holes are so small. I'm gonna try something else. One moment, I stop the video. No guys, there is nothing I can do. I just checked to see if I have tiny drills to drill these holes. I have some really tiny drills, but these holes are smaller than those. The feet of the capacitor are not smaller, but yeah, pretty damn close. So all I can do is heat this up and push on the capacitors and hope it kind of starts going in. Oop. It has. Yay! It seems the board is starting to heat up. As you can see, I'm heating just one by one because I'm pushing the capacitor from side to side to make sure it gets as deep as it should go. The legs are a little bit longer. I will trim them off. And this is the capacitor in position. Actually, it's not where it should be. This one has to be pushed a little bit more in. Okay, now we should be good to go. Yeah, still not straight. As you can see guys, it sometimes doesn't want to work really easy. But it works out in the end. Okay, this is about as good as I can go. So this is a new capacitor. I will do the rest and show you again on video when I do this tiny one over here. I've replaced the first 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 of the remaining worked really well. This one was a pain to to replace. So yeah, sometimes it works really fast and well, sometimes it does not. So yeah, what can you do? Let us just see if the last one will be an easy one or a hard one. Because as you might know, if you are subscribed to my channel, yeah, you see on my channel the real deal. If it goes easy, it goes easy and you see it. Let me just take away the solder, and this time in a safer manner. I'm taking away the old solder from this soldering iron. Okay, done. Because you need new solder to blend in with the solder that is already on the motherboard, because the solder on the motherboard usually is one with higher melting temperature, and you don't really want that. You want it to melt as fast as possible and at lower temperature as possible. So yeah, like I was saying, on my channel I don't really make things seem to work easily than they do. You get exactly my experience. Sometimes something works really fast, sometimes it does not. Okay, it's moving. And it's out. This is 820 microfarads, and I will be replacing it with from my stock. I didn't buy these, I have them from different stuff that I worked over time. I will replace it with, let us see what we can get, 1000 microfarad. Actually, probably you cannot see that. 6.3 volts. It has a little bit more capacitance, but that is not a problem. It's close enough not to cause any harm. And the voltage is the same. We don't want lower voltage, but in this case it's exactly the same, so we are good to go. This one seems to have its feet soldered together. So yeah, guys, when doing stuff like this, you don't always have to do it the right way or the fast way or with the absolute best tools. The most important thing is to get it done without damaging the thing that you are trying to repair, sorry, English not working today, and yeah, without damaging yourself, of course. So I'm just gonna test this one because it's not a new one, so I have no idea if it's in value. It should be, because I usually check them when I take them out of things, but not really sure. So you can see it's even a little bit above specs. This will be awesome. Again, 105 degrees cap, so that is good. Of course, a really nice quality brand caps would be better, but like I told you, in my area those do not come easy. Let me just clean a little bit here. I'm not even gonna bother with solder remover. I will just make sure it's not above the level of the motherboard. Again, be careful of the polarity. Yeah, one of the contacts is still above the level of the motherboard, so just make sure you don't leave solder where it shouldn't be. Even loose tiny parts could, yeah, just drop the capacitor. God damn it, English not working at all today. Even a tiny bit of solder could damage your motherboard in the wrong place. Let me just check the positioning here. I think I decided really wrong to do this one on video, because I have a feeling that this will not go easy. The position isn't great. It is really small, but yeah, and most likely you are on the other side so of this connector for the optical drive. but let's see what we can do. Okay, one of the tiny feet is in. You can see it at an angle. Now I will just take a closer look and align the second feet with the hole. Second foot, actually, not feet. What am I thinking? Okay. The space is a little bit of a problem in here, but I think I got it. Nope, not yet. Sorry guys, I'm not doing this on video and you're just seeing white stuff on screen and me talking in the background, but please believe me, it's really hard to align the tiny feet with the hole when the capacitor is already in at an angle. Yeah, felt it go in, and it actually did go in and not bent or something like that. So again, now I'm okay. Don't want to melt the connector. I'm just gonna hit this one by one until the capacitor goes to the maximum level and touches the motherboard. I think I'm already there. This one has pretty short feet. Nope, not there yet. Let me just get another angle and continue. When it doesn't want to heat up like now, the solder doesn't want to melt really well, I'm just using a little bit more. Because I'm anyway gonna take away the surplus. Okay, this capacitor is fighting me all the way. Again. Let's heat up this thing really good. Where the hell is it? Oh, god damn it. I just took it out a little bit because I wasn't sure it actually got in, because I couldn't push it more. So I was afraid that the little pin actually got bent underneath the capacitor, but it did not. So we have the final deal here. Like I said, guys, I'm not really great at this. I don't have the best tools or the best ways, but I get the job done, and I didn't wreck any motherboards until now. Hopefully not in the future also. Now I'm gonna just cut the ends. I'm holding my hand over it because this tries to fly away a lot. Come on, where did you go? Yeah, okay. This one I can't even see where it jumped. Actually I can. You could even leave the ends like that without cutting them. The only problem is that you don't want them to be too long, so they have a chance to touch the metal under the motherboard. That's the absolute single issue. Okay, this I clearly cannot see. Found it. Jumped already in my hand. But as you can see, these, they are a little bit longer, so maybe even not in need of cutting these ones, but yeah, I really like to cut them. So one is here and one is between the pins. Come on. As I say in all my videos, feel free to skip to something you find interesting, if you find anything interesting. But I will leave the video unedited with all this stuff, because somebody could find it useful. Okay. And the last one seems so small that it almost shouldn't get cut. And that's about it. It doesn't really look really nice. You can see the areas where the motherboard got hit a little bit, but this doesn't cause issues in the long term. The capacitors are all in position, and yeah, I will start putting everything back together now. Clean this CPU and the heatsink and apply Cool Laboratory Liquid Ultra on it. So let us continue.